If you're interested in finding ways to enhance your teaching with digital technology, then this week's videos and the next is for you. I'm doing a quick two-part series, the first today with 5 tips on how I integrate technology in my classroom, and then next week on the benefits of digital assignments. So if that interests you, keep on watching. Hey there, it's Erica from Ever Educating, and this channel is all about teaching tips, tools, and resources for the new college instructor, with a few videos kicked in about grad school life more generally. So in today's video, it's all about how technology enhances my teaching. So I have 5 tips on how it can enhance yours as well. All right, so the first 2 tips relate to using your learning management system or your LMS. And so the first is, you want to make sure you include your homework assignments in the LMS system. And so in my case, I'm not saying you actually put the materials on there, though of course you can do that too. I'm saying that you actually have on one page of your LMS site, in my case it's under lessons, every single day I have what the homework is for that night. So the day just basically starts with, let's say, Monday, January 26th, homework, and then I just display what the homework is for that night. And underneath that, I'll have Wednesday, January 28th, and then what the homework is as well. All right, and so if there are digital materials connected to the homework, then yes, I do add that as links underneath the homework assignment. But basically this tip is so that even if a student is absent, they can see what the homework is for the next day. They might have to ask you or a classmate about what the classwork was, right? But the homework is something that they know they can go to the LMS site and find out at any point in time in between those classes. So I find that very helpful because it makes sure that an absent student can't say, oh, I didn't know what the homework was, so I didn't do it. Can I have an extension? Well, no, because you always know that the homework is listed on the LMS site. So that's one great way of using technology in your classroom. And following that, as I said, I always include as much as possible digital supplementary materials in class and for homework as well. And all those I link on this same page. So again, I might have Monday, January 26th, underneath that what the homework is, and then let's say the homework is to read an academic article and a blog post, well, I'll link below the academic article and the blog post, right? If in class we had a presentation that I did at lecture, then I include the PowerPoint and the Google Slides in there too, all linked. So again, I found this makes it more equitable to all students. For those who are in class and they're following along with your presentation and your lecture, but they're struggling with something, they can see the presentation on their own in class, but also at home as well if they need more time with the material, right? Same with, I teach literature courses, so yes, my students do tend to buy or check out the novels that we read, but any academic material that we read, I don't have them buy. I just have them use our library databases, okay? So I think that's 2 ways that the LMS site can be really helpful for teaching and for your students as well. Okay, and if you want a whole video about how I use my LMS site and how I design it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure I do that video too. I don't know how many of you are interested in that kind of material. All right, so first steps, right? Put the homework in the LMS site, describe it for students, so even if they're absent, they get it. And 2 is if you have any digital material that's supplemental to your class, also include that in your LMS site for the learners who either need more time with it or they just want more time with it. My next tip is also connected to the LMS site, but that's not the main reason I find it beneficial, right? And so this is, you can use your LMS site to download all your documents for an assignment at once, and then that means you can erase it at once as well on your laptop, okay? So I can explain this by showing a video of it, but basically, at least in my LMS, software, which we have a version of Sakai, you can go to the assignments tab, and let's say my students turned in their autobiography, right? I can go there and I can select, download all, and it downloads it all the assignments into one folder for me. And so now I just open that zip file and I have all of my students' autobiographies in that one folder. And so I go through them all and I grade them and I give them individual feedback, which I place in their LMS site too, right? I do that all digitally as well. But then once I'm done with that and I have all the feedback back onto the site for them, I can just go to that folder that was zipped and then opened, and I can just move that whole folder into the trash And now all those documents, those 30, 60, 90 documents, are no longer taking up space in my laptop. All right, so this is more a tip for how to keep your laptop decluttered. You download it as one folder and then you delete it as one folder too, rather than having, downloading them one by one. That takes more time, but also makes it harder to find. If your students name them different things, you have to go through all of your downloads documents and delete them one by one after the assignment or the semester is done. Okay, so that is a third LMS tip. As I said, I definitely have a lot of tips about this kind of stuff, but for the most part, it's more to help you keep your laptop decluttered. All right, so if any of those 3 tips are something new for you that you plan on taking advantage of, let me know by clicking the like button below, so I know it's something that you actually are going to invest your time in. Okay, but tip 4 is relating more to visual learners. All right, and so of course you can have students buy physical books to help with visual learning, but again, I try to be as equitable as possible by keeping my class resources as inexpensive as possible. So they only are required to have the novels, right, to buy, but of course they don't have to. But for any supplementary materials, it's digital. But then also, for my lecturing and giving examples of things, I try to be as visual as possible, and I can't draw to save my life, all right? So what that means for me is I create PowerPoint slides or Google slides or even infographics or websites that I share with my students when teaching. Okay, and so I like Google Slides more than PowerPoint just because I can design it on any of my devices because Google syncs with all of them. But PowerPoint obviously works well too if that's what you want to use. But then I also recommend canva.com. It's a free resource where you can create a lot of graphics. And so for this, the best one in my opinion for teaching is creating infographics. So if you go on there, canva.com, canva.com, you'll see tons of templates, and one of the categories are infographics. So you can go in and you can just click one that's designed well for you, and you just replace the language with whatever it is that you're teaching, the topic that you want to talk about. And so I use this all the time in my blog post, for example. And I'll link below a blog post that has an infographic so you can see what I'm talking about. But I find it very helpful for students too, right? So I might have, for example, let's plot a novel in an infographic form. Or here are the most 7 important terms, literary terms, for this month or this week of learning, right? And so obviously this is more time on your hands, you're taking the time to create this resource, but it can really benefit those students who really need to see things visually. Okay? And then you could also use the site, have your students use it to create their own infographics or graphics connected to whatever it is that you're teaching as well. So it can be an instructional material for you, but also for your students too. And then another tip that's related to the internet is using Twitter, okay, as a resource. So it's amazing to me how many, people on Twitter, they have certain hashtags like academic chatter or PhD chat, edu Twitter, academic Twitter. There's tons of them, right? But basically, we have tons of academics who are sharing resources, they're sharing insights into teaching, they're sharing assignments, right? And you can find a lot of them by looking on Twitter. And so I do think you should take advantage of this to help enhance your teaching. Okay, so this is a digital tool that, again, is free. You could sign up easily. You could also see public accounts without having to sign up if you don't want to create a Twitter account. But it's a great way to find out new information about teaching and to ask, like, I'm struggling with this aspect of teaching. Any suggestions? And you'll likely get some responses, especially if you use the proper hashtags. And so I have a list of hashtags I suggest in the description box below for you as well. But as a reminder, next week I'm going to be having the benefits of digital assignments. All right, so it's completely new tips for you to take advantage of. And so once it's out, I'll make sure to include it on this page, like right over here. I think it's over here, whatever. But once that happens, I'll make it easy to see here so you can kind of have that 1-2 punch on technology in your classroom.